Now, I don't know if you know TV presenters Vernon Kay and his wife Tess Daly, but they have said that they are leaving none of their £5 million fortune to their children, and they are not the only ones saying this. So Bill Gates, Sting, TV chef Nigella Lawson have all made similar pledges. By removing the expectation of a financially secure future, these stars believe that they are actually encouraging their children to learn more about grafting hard in order to make a living. So I want to know, if you can afford it, that's the key point. If you can afford it, will you leave your children an inheritance, or do you feel that they should really be purely making their way through the world by themselves and be self-made?
So for me, I think it's a difficult one, because normally I would say you have to make a way for your own. That's just, I'm kind of like a tough love person in that way. But it's difficult for me to say that as a Black person. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, especially Western society, we are still playing catch up in a lot of ways. So we need to, the more advantage you can give to the next person then in your family, then you should give it. Do you know what I mean? So if I had an inheritance, I'm going to save it for my immediate children, if I've got enough for cousins, extended, just so that we can continue to build either generational wealth or more advantage, and for them to have more of a privileged life. But if I had not come from that background, I personally would just say no. I honestly would say no. I only say, the reason why I say that is because I just don't understand. I really think able-bodied people should get up and go make their own money. I just am of that belief. If you're grown and you are able-bodied, I don't understand why you wouldn't make your own money. So for me, it's always just a no. But because of the reasons of me being Black, I'm going to say yes.
I understand what you are getting at with the generational wealth, definitely. And I think, you know, if we look at it from the perspective of leaving your children without money, there are already so many obstacles that we're going to face just because, you know, we are Black as well. So it's not just going to be having nothing in the bank. There are already, it's not going to be as simple as getting up and making your own money, because there are barriers in place for us. And I think, you know, this question is very personal to me because I'm very rich in my mind and and all of my unborn children have personalities. So it's hard for me to answer that question. I think that you need to strike a balance, because sometimes people have money as the goal in life, and I don't think it's the most important thing that you can achieve in your life. I think I'd rather raise my children to believe that they have purpose. And if I feel like they believe that they have purpose by the time I'm dying, I'm going to leave them money to fulfill that purpose. I actually, to be honest, yeah, I'm just going to leave them money. I'm just going to be reasonable about it, though. Yeah, I'm going to leave my kids some money.
I think for me, like, I definitely agree with leaving an inheritance. How much you leave is probably the question that I'm just kind of like, well, it depends on circumstances.
And when they have access to it.
When they have access to it, yeah, because knowing how hard it is in the UK to get onto the housing market, if I'm able to leave some money behind to help my children buy a house and be like, look, your house is set up, or half of your deposit is set up whenever you want to do it. So that's one less thing that you have to worry about. So you can focus on not having to sign up for 35 years for a mortgage, or finding your dream job without this noose of a mortgage around your neck. Then I'm going to do that. The thing that I take umbrage with is people like Bill Gates or Vernon Kay and Tess Daly or Sting, all these people saying that they want their children to graft. And I was really angry at that statement, to be honest. Yeah, really angry at it, because they're saying that they're not going to leave their children any money, but they're going to pay for their children to have a high-end education. Some might have gone to private schools. They're going to get job opportunities off their last name alone. They're going to be able to travel the world in order to see different cultures, which is really going to help their experience of the world. All these various things that these children are going to get just growing up, because they're not saying, well, they're saying we're not going to leave an inheritance, but I'm just like, but they're still going to get access to the best sorts of education that you can have, which is already giving them a step up. And knowing that you're Bill Gates' child, it's probably going to be easier for you to get that internship. So when they're saying that we're going to leave no money, I'm like, you're already giving them a lot of privilege already that a lot of people don't get. So you trying to say I want them to graft through the world, It makes me think of Donald Trump saying that his father gave him a small loan of £1 million,
That's
£1
my
million
favourite.
in order to start his business. Or Kylie Jenner saying she's self-made because she's like, well, I took my own money and I put it into it. But you're like, do you know what I mean? That's the kind of realm that I think that they're kind of talking about. And I'm thinking, you equating grafting hard with the struggles that people have just to get an education, they're not the same for me.
Yeah, but
Right.
I think I almost took that statement in a different way, Sophie. I felt like they were saying basically, we will set you up for the first 18 years of your life. You will get the best schools, you'll get the access to everything that you possibly need to make this work in life. And then once you've got that, you are on your own, and now you've got to figure out how to use all the tools that you have. That's what I took from that.
Yeah.
That's what I took from that statement. And that's why I was kind of like on the agreement with it. It's like, yes, for me, it's just, I don't know if I've just seen a lot of spoiled adults, and so I just don't think people need to, I just don't think people need to be enabled more than they need to be. Like, honestly, you are a grown adult, you know how to function in life. Please cut the umbilical cord and just do for your own. Just, that's all that I need you to do. Just do for your own. And I know it would be great, but it's so difficult because this is what I truly believe. But I know because of my culture and everything that I have to give whoever's after me the leg up just because of how the world is. But if I did not have to, I want you to go out and do your own. I just think everyone should be independent. And I know it's different from other people's ideal of family and structure and all that kind of stuff. But that's why we're all great, because we're all different and have our own opinions. But I personally just think you have to do it on your own. It's tough love. Figure it out. Be an adult. Be a real person in this world and get it together. So that's why I'm just kind of like, I'm not leaving you anything. There's nothing for me to leave. I can give it to someone who's less fortunate. Hopefully by the time I'm passing, you are going to be at least in your 40s and have figured something out, so you're not waiting for me to croak so you can get it together. It's
a good point. We do need to think about the ages that our children will be when we die. And I'm dying at 101. So my kids have already lived a large part of their lives. I think they've already made their own money and they're okay. No. No, I have a lot of things to do. So 101, that's the goal. I could do 111. It's, as long as I get past 100, it's fine. But I think that there was a article that I read that I found kind of funny, and there was this couple who owned a restaurant and a hotel, and they said that their plans before they died was to blow all of their money, and they sold the hotel, they sold the restaurant, and they brought like a camper van thing to travel the world on, and they just wanted to live a great life, travel the world for the rest of their days and splurge. And I thought that was fantastic, because I think the most important thing that those parents could have given their children is self-belief. Because if my parents are self-starters and they're entrepreneurs and they've created this for themselves and they've been able to live a life and provide me with such a great life, and like we keep saying, by the time that they die, we're going to be 30s, 40s anyway, we'll be okay. And they said something along the lines of, I don't feel an ounce of guilt for not leaving them anything. And I'm thinking, you do you. Like, if you want to spend your golden years running around in a van, sightseeing, eating as much food as you want, drinking wine, then do that, because you made that life for yourself. You've already provided your children in their early years what they need, what the necessities were, food, water, shelter, and school. And now you get to live your life for yourself. They said, we've worked so hard and this is my reward, to enjoy my money, enjoy the money that I've earned. And I completely agree with that.
Luanda, I can imagine you in that van. Just driving. She's off.
I think one of the issues, because I think I read the same article actually, Luanda, and I think one of the things in it was them saying, now that we're retired, we've put off things and we're going to do it. And that's the bit that is the issue for me. Like, when parents are saying that we haven't done anything in our lives but raise our children, so now we're going to, live the life we've always wanted to live. And well, maybe this is touched on another issue, but I feel like that's the wrong way to go about it. Like, I take personal offense in my spirit to people who are just like, I put everything on hold for my children. They're everything, and we haven't done anything but to focus on them. Because something that my dad said at my sister's birthday, and he gave this lovely speech, and he said to her, don't put off anything that you want to do. He went, do it now. Do it now and don't wait until retirement because it might never come. And my dad has reached retirement age, but he was saying like, he looks back on his life and he hasn't got any regrets. For people who were saying like, I'm not going to leave my children anything because, you know, they basically took up my entire life and now I'm going to splurge in it all. For me, there's something else going on there that was incorrect, because I feel like you should be trying to still make time to do things together and to travel together. But maybe they never had the money until they were older. I don't know. But yeah, for me, I still think leave them a little something. Leave them a little cushion so that life is easier.
Yeah, but I think the sentimental gifts will mean more. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys have had anyone who's
can't pay the mortgage with sentimental, Anissa.
Maybe the favourite necklace I used to wear, or my favourite perfume, or the blanket, things for you to remember me by, not my money in the house. I would prefer to give sentimental things that had great meaning.
Vernon Kay and Tess Daly saying that they're not going to give them any of their £5 million fortune. For me, I was just like, a house in London, 4-bedroom, could cost you 2.5. Like, let's be very realistic about what we're saying we're going to bequeath to our children. If they live in an expensive area, you leaving them £1 million is not going to get them through the rest of their life. That is literally going to make sure that they can probably buy somewhere and have a little rainy day and probably buy a new car, and then your money's done. So if you're Bill Gates, I think it is very different. Like, if you are a billionaire and you have money that you cannot spend in your lifetime, leaving that all to your children is going to just make them reckless because they have nothing to anchor them. So I think it differs on the amount of money that you get, because I saw in this article and it was saying that 85% of people who leave an inheritance leave 250,000 and less, and the majority of that is under 50,000. And that money is not life-changing money. Let's be honest. Like, when you're a kid, if someone told you could get 50 grand, you're like, oh my days, I'll be rich forever. When you get older, you're like, I mean, I'm going to live for 2 years and then I'm going to see what happens. So I think it really depends as well on the amount of money.
Yeah, I agree with you on the amount of money, but I think that you should have raised your children at this point. If you're on your deathbed, when we're talking wills and we're talking inheritance, or you're at that age, your children should have already been raised to a point where they value life and they value themselves enough to do something with their lives, and they should have gotten
and have a work
perspective
ethic
from you. Yeah, and they should already have a work ethic.
I agree.
So therefore, they should have money as well. It'd be fine.
Exactly. The thing is, an inheritance should always be like a really sad reminder that your parents is gone. It shouldn't be the thing that you're looking forward to. Like, when are they just going to kick my bucket because I need that money?
Could we just circle back to my favourite couple real quick? Because I just need to defend them. So I don't think
Who's your favourite couple?
So the couple with the restaurant and the hotel.
The van. Okay, yes.
Yeah, they weren't living this lifestyle out of revenge for the years that they think their children have taken away from them. Actually, they've just lived their lives being workers. Like most of us, we have to, wake up every day and earn a living. And they have just been earning a living for most of their life. They've raised a family, and now for the first time, their children are adults and they get to think about themselves. And I don't think it's a bad thing to look at your life and be like, okay, I've got 10 years, maybe 15 left. Let me just do what I want to do. It doesn't mean you're not going to give your kids presents and see them at Christmas and visit them and have trips with them, but it means that you finally, no strings attached, just get to live your life for yourself. You don't have to think about a mortgage. You don't have to think about nappies and toothpaste and school bills and uniforms. You just get to do whatever you want to do. And I think it's a brilliant stage of life to get at.
Definitely.
May we all get there.